Good afternoon. My name is Jeanette Chittick, and I'm here to present my exhibition titled Sewing Discord and provide a little context of the research project of which the exhibition is part of. I would like to thank IFFTI, Pearl Academy, and Dr. Sonica for this opportunity. Also, a huge thank you to the LaSalle College of the Arts Research Fund, School of Fashion, and McNally School of Fine Arts for the support of the research fund.
Sewing Discord was on show from 16th July to 29th August this year at the Jandela Visual Arts Space, Esplanade, Singapore. The research project, currently still ongoing, is helmed by my research partner Hazel Lim Schlegel and I, Jeanette Chittick.
As two individuals whose training, academic backgrounds, and artistic practices are grounded in design and fine arts, our studio works in the areas of weaving, yarn spinning, and origami had led us to question the place of our practices within the intersections of contemporary art, design, and craft.
In addition, as mothers of young children and as art practitioners, we are inspired by the work done by individuals and, in particular, women whose heritage and cultures are embedded in the craft practices and methodologies that constitute a part of their everyday life and craft, such as weaving, embroidery, knitting, crocheting, latch hooking, cross-stitching, origami, lantern making, basket weaving, etc. We define these types of artistries as possessing the aesthetics of care. In particular, we are interested in the type of craft oft associated with the home and the domestic. These artistries, usually made and performed by women, involve the intricate patterning or fashioning of materials to create objects and things you can use around and within the house. They are steeped with intentions of care and protection for the people who use them or adorn them in the home. With this in mind, this research aims to investigate the place and the legacy of craft through the materials, processes, and works that we had been creating and, consequently, to locate an existing tribe of artists and designers who utilize such techniques and materials in their research and art practices. The history of art and craft can be traced to movements in America and Europe, such as the art and crafts movement, Bauhaus, punk, as well as the feminist movements. These are not necessarily just an artistic impetus, but also included activist responses and reactions due to social, political, and cultural moments. Craft and the use of traditional craft materials, techniques, and processes that were otherwise not admitted or accepted as part of an intellectual, conceptual, artistic language is of significance here, where the once unseen, imperceptible, and unacknowledged are reframed and renegotiated to signify agency, power, and potency. In this research, we are focusing on this lineage and legacy that domestic craft has inherited, and to locate its place within the Singapore context. Increasingly, we are seeing artists and designers use domestic craft techniques and processes to create works. We are keen to investigate how craft continues to be a tool for discourse that is beyond their initial perception of them being beautiful and decorative.
This research aims to identify a tribe of artists and designers utilizing such domestic craft techniques and materials as a way to acknowledge their inherent heritage, narratives, and histories, and to present them with contemporary outlooks and perspectives, and specifically to recognize the aesthetics of care that underlie the practices.
The Sewing Discord exhibition is part of our Aesthetics of Care research project, where we both showed alongside other artists who work similarly with craft materials or processes. As I thought of a title for the show, the phrase Sewing Discord came to me. It really encapsulated what we were trying to do in this show. To sow discord is to say and do things that cause a group as a whole to distress one another and begin to argue and then fight, in other words, to create disharmony. Sowing discord is oft something done in secret, by deceit or subterfuge.
The intentional play of the word and phonetics in the exhibition title takes a leaf from this definition by situating how craft as a technique is to be appropriated from its common use in domestic environs to a chosen approach by the artists to articulate craft's potential power and an intended reversal of meaning from passivity and invisibility to one of renewed strength.
While paying homage to the rich legacies of the diverse craft traditions, the exhibition also looks at how craft could become a cogent tool for discourse, with the artists harnessing the techniques as methodologies for formal and material exploration to investigate and present personal and shared narratives. The exhibition featured 5 artists: myself, Hazel, Nature Shankar, Jody Tan, and Bernie Tan. Our creative approaches incorporate aspects of crafting technologies such as weaving, punch needling, embroidery, fabric manipulation, fiber mache, origami, latch hooking, yarn spinning, and cross-stitching, whilst interrogating other mediums such as painting, drawing, sculpture, and architectural forms. Our use of craft as methodology is one that also seeks to reinterpret the position of craft in the hierarchy of visual culture. Commonly seen as a medium in domestic spaces, it is devoid of power and strength. Hazel and I conceptualized and art-directed an ASMR-inspired film which provides a glimpse of the work processes. Through the presentation of the artifacts tools used for the works, it is careful not to be instructional, as craft tends to be, but to give a glimpse into how the artists manipulate and use the materials. The film featured the gestures of making and sounds of materials which are meant to heighten the notion of the DIY, handcrafted, labor, and care. Embedded in the works are the aesthetics of care, manifested in the subject matter or embodied in the gestures and processes of art and textile making. Please enjoy our exhibition walkthrough video. Thank you for your time. Please read our paper and visit our socials.